to the Dirt Dogs International Racing Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the Dirt Dogs International Racing Network. I'm your host, Jake and Keith, ready to rip down the house here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the TRL Super Leagues presented by Hobbs, Australian versus All-American 2022 Showdown. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready to rip down the house. But first, you already know it's that time. I'm going to have to ask you to please stand up, remove your hats as we do tonight's National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth fertile. Our home is God by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath the radiant southern cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who come across the seas, we've boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our national anthems here at the Dirt Dogs International Racing Network for the TRL Super League's Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown. And I'm your host tonight, as always, Jake with Keith, ready to rip down the house here with these. It looks like we got 13, 14 drivers filing on here for the Bristol Motor Speedway Showdown here for round 6 of the TRL Super League's Australians versus Americans 2022 Showout. Presented by Hobbs, Trenchant, and Boring. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat here. Sliders, crossovers, hard racing here for these 410 sprint cars with over 700 horsepower here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in just a few minutes with some hard racing action. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time for talk is almost there. But, ladies and gentlemen, before they have the time for talk, we got to head on in and check out the weather report as they head on in for qualifying here, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2022 Showdown of the Australians versus Americans, presented by Hobbs, Trenchant, and Boring here for the TRL Super League. As we get ready to rip, rock, and roll here at Bristol Motor Speedway with a half mile. Looks like it says half mile. That screen is just so darn tiny. Looks like 90 degrees out with 79% humidity, clear skies, 17 miles an hour winds, and we are here on Speedway Boulevard here at Bristol, Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen. 151 Speedway Boulevard exactly. But nonetheless, the TRL Super League presented by Hobbs, Trenchant and Pouring, their LP designs and JJ&SC. Ready to rip, rock, and roll. Check out the Facebook page here at facebook.com/TRL Super League as we get ready to tear down the house here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Just a few more minutes before these drivers head out onto the track for their heats and get ready to rip, rock, and roll, letting them qualify as they hammer out the laps out now. Daniel Boyd is out on the track here in that number 79 machine as we watch him take some laps. Brett Hobbs in the 64 machine also out there. A lot of these guys just going to hammer down, and we're going to watch them take their qualifying laps. We'll be right back with some heat racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So we see Thomas Mitchell ripping some laps up. Alex Hanna in the 88 machine. Hold up. Do we have the right paints on? We got to see here. If Trading Paints is loading correctly, as we want Trading Paints to be 100% correct. Oh, it looks like it is saying that it is correct. Nonetheless, Alex Hanna out there in that 88 machine just going to sit in the middle of the track as we are ready and done with qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Time for talk is done. Here for the TRL Super League's round number 6 for the Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown. As we get ready to pull up the grid for heat number 1, we got Brett Hobbs starting on the pole to the inside of Braden Miller. Try to get my views up. Nobody's gridded. There's Hobbs. Hobbs end up hitting the track there in that 64 machine. To the outside of the 64, we have the 2 machine of Braden Miller. Alex Hanna going to start in the 3rd spot with that 88 machine. Lockie Phillips with that 17 machine. TRL Super League's blue, white, and black 17 starting in the 4th. Brad O'Brien in the 77 white, green, and black machine. Going to start here in the 5th spot for heat number 1. 6 going to go to Anthony Crown. And tailing the end of the field, we got Daniel Nickel. So we got 7 drivers, ladies and gentlemen, 8 laps here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Pace truck pulls off, and the green flag here is out. So we got a nose-to-tail battle. Here's the number 2, Braden Miller, going to hold on to 2nd, back behind Brett Hobbs, who is out front currently. In the 3rd spot, we got Lockie Phillips in the 17, moving on up as he's able to battle the 88 machine. As Alex Hanna ends up going around after a little bit of contact there, but Lockie going to keep that 3rd spot there. Back in the 4th, we got Brad O'Brien and Daniel Nickel rounding out the top 5. Alex Hanna going to drop outside the top 5 into the 6th spot. Braden Miller still going to be all over the tail side here as Lockie Phillips holds on to third. Brad O'Brien and Daniel Nickel going to be in the third spot. Or fifth spot, excuse me. Battling for the third spot there with Lockie Phillips. The number 2 machine, Braden Miller, trying to hold on to that tail, trying to go to the inside here, the 64, Brent Hobbs, as they got 3 laps left remaining. They're going to dip down low into 3 and 4, almost making contact there with Miller and Hobbs as they pull it off, riding right here on the nose of the number 2 machine. Lockie Phillips in that 17 machine falling off just a little bit of the 2 leaders. They come around for that white flag waving. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4. The 2 machine trying to go for the crossover. Checker flag waving coming out of 3 and 4. Brett Hobbs going to take this over Braden Miller and Lockie Phillips. So as we get the starting grid here for heat number 2, we're going to shut that down and pull it back on up here, ladies and gentlemen. So starting here for heat number 2, we got Paul R. Bryan starting here on the lead. Starting to the outside of Bryan, we got the 50 machine of Clayton Davies. There's Paul Bryan in the 42 as the 42 grids up. Sean Stevens with YOB Racing. And that 26 machine starting in the 3rd spot with the 4th going to the 79 of Daniel Boyd. Thomas Mitchell in the 02 going to start in the 5th position and starting to the outside of him. We got the 26 of Leo Heaton. 6 drivers, ladies and gentlemen. 8 more laps is the distance as we get ready to go green flag racing here one more time at Bristol Motor Speedway. So Paul Bryan, Clayton Davies going to battle it out here. Heat number 2, Daniel Boyd. Sean Stevens in the 2nd row. Pace truck driver Floyd heading down pit road. The lights come on as they get ready to go green flag, and the green flag drops as the green flag is out. Coming around 1 and 2, this 26 machine trying to work for that 3rd spot here as he's trying to get to the inside. Or hang to the inside of the 79. We got contact a little bit there with Daniel Boyd and Sean Stevens as the 26 machine. The 79 make contact. The 79 falls back a little. 26 machine of Leo Heaton. You're going to move on up into the 4th spot as Daniel Boyd and Thomas Mitchell single file out off the backstretch down into 3 and 4. The 79 machine of Daniel Boyd trying to go to the inside of Heaton. Here's they battle side by side up front. We got a battle Paul Bryan and Clayton Davies as Sean Stevens tries to poke his nose to the inside. Down the backstretch off of 1 and 2 and down into 3 and 4 here. We see the 50 machine come on down in front of the 26 of Sean Stevens as the 42 Paul Bryan still leads these guys off. Back behind him we got Daniel Boyd hanging on to the inside of Leo Heaton and Thomas Mitchell right behind him. 4 laps left remains here for Bristol Motor Speedway. A little bit of contact made there with Sean Stevens and Clayton Davies. As Sean Stevens in the 26 machine falls off a little bit from the 50. White flags out waving as they make their way by the flag. Stay in the 79, going to hold off Thomas Mitchell in the top 5 here as they got a battle back up front. The 50 machine coming around 3 and 4 for the checker flag waving. Paul Bryan able to hold off Clayton Davies and Sean Stevens. All right, guys, these guys get a little bit of a warm-up, and then we'll be right back here with some more feature racing action here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if we can, let's go back and see if we can see the top 10 in points as we get ready to head on in to the feature for week number 6, round number 6, excuse me, here for the Australians versus Americans Showdown, the 410 Sprint Cars. Top 10 right here. Clayton Davies leading them off with Paul Bryan in the second spot. Brett Hobbs going to take third. Lockie Phillips in fourth. Fifth going to be Daniel Boyd. Sixth going to be Cole Ferguson. Alex Hanna going to be seventh. Eighth going to be Nathan Vanderwecker. Ninth going to go to Braden Miller. And 10th, rounding out the top 10 here, is Thomas Mitchell. So that is the top 10 here in points for the TRL Super Leagues. Hobbs, Trenchard and Bourne Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown. Just wanted to make that clear and out there for everybody to know the top 10 as we get ready to head on in for the feature. As we turn the music down and get ready to bring on up the grid, Brett Hobbs going to be the one to start this one off. To the outside of Hobbs, we got Paul R. Bryan hanging on to that second position in the 42 machine. There's the 64 with Hobbs, Trenchard and Bourne. Starting in the third spot, we'll have Braden Miller in the number 2. And to his outside, we'll have the 50 of Clayton Davies. Starting in the 5th spot, we'll have the 17 of Lockie Phillips. We see Davies gridding on up. Still waiting on Paul Bryan and Braden Miller. There's Braden Miller back behind Hobbs here. So there we got Paul R. Bryan to the outside. Third going to be Braden Miller. Fourth going to be Clayton Davies. Lockie Phillips going to start in the 5th spot. 6th is going to go to Sean Stevens in the 26. 7th is going to be Brad O'Brien in the 77 machine. 8th going to be Daniel Boyd. With 9th going to Thomas Mitchell in the 02. Daniel Nickel in the 18. Leo Heaton in the 26 machine here. Alex Hanna in the 88. And tailing end of the field here, we got Anthony Crown. So as a pace truck driver signifies that he's getting ready to head down pit road, Brett Hobbs, Paul R. Bryan, ready to take the green flag here for 35 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. Floyd ready to rip, rock, and roll as he heads down pit road. Brett Hobbs, Paul Bryan, green flag, here's out. 3 wide out of 1 and 2. Here's the number 2, hangs to the inside of the 64 and the 50 there. They double file back out, back around 3 and 4. As we got Brett Hobbs holding on to the second spot. We got Braden Miller and Clayton Davies battling side by side. Now Sean Stevens trying to get to the inside of Davies here as they are double file 2 rows back. Number 2 machine, Braden Miller, trying to hold on to the inside of Clayton Davies here, trying to battle for that 3rd spot. Back behind him, they got 3 wide here as Sean Stevens makes a little tap to Braden Miller. Brad O'Brien trying to stick his nose up into his. Sean Stevens ends up to the outside wall, filed back into that 10th spot. Thomas Mitchell here rounding out the top 10 of points. He's all over the tail side of that 17 machine. We're going to ride right on board here as Mitchell's doing all he can. We look like we got a yellow flag hitting the speedway, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll see what happened here. Anthony Crown being the one involved. We'll see what went down here. Oh, looks like the 18 machine getting a little loose and coming down off there in the Anthony Crown and the 239 machine. Let's go back and rewatch it from a different view. 239 just not having anywhere to go as the 18 got a little sloppy and loose on that outside line. And it looks like almost like the wall threw him towards him, honestly. I don't know. It's kind of weird with this new damage model. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, that's what brings out the yellow flag here for tonight for the TRL Super Leagues. Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown. First caution on the night as we are 4 laps in. 35 laps. We got 31 laps left remaining. Thomas Mitchell to the tail side of Lockie Phillips here, making his way up to, I believe, the 6th or 7th spot. They're going to go to the double file as they make their way out of 1 and 2. So Paul R. Bryan here in the 42 machine. Brent Hobbs looking for the green flag, and it is out here at Bristol. Riding on board here with Brent Hobbs as Brent tries to work that high line. Braden Miller holding on to that 3rd spot here as he's got the 50 of Clayton Davies all over the tail side. Brad O'Brien just in the side to top 5 as he's got Thomas Mitchell and Lockie Phillips battling back there, knocking on the door. The 26 is Sean Stevens looking to make his way back on up through. He's got to check up a little bit there for Thomas Mitchell on the low side there. Pitching it in right behind the 17. Looks like he may have gave it just a little tap there to Lockie as Lockie hangs on in front of him in that 6th position. Battle 3 wide, going down the backstretch, down into 3 and 4. The 26 to the inside of the 17, trying to take him over for the slide job here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Not able to do so as the 17 still hangs to that outside. The 02 with Thomas Mitchell going to battle the inside now of Lockie. Oh, we got contact there with the 77 and the 26 machine. Brad O'Brien, Sean Stevens makes contact, and the yellow flag goes flying. So we'll go back and see what it was that initially tried to cause that. Ooh. Back up just a little bit here, thingy. Click, 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 click. Yeah. That means back up. Ooh, looks like Sean Stevens just tried to go in for the slider here. And it looks like in the 1 and 2, and just coming out of 2, it wasn't clear. And it brought the yellow flag out here. Let's try it from a different view one more time here. Sean Stevens trying to put it down low as he's got Lockie Phillips back there watching it all unfold as well. The 77 come down a little bit from the high line there. So it was kind of a racing deal, more or less a mutual meeting in the middle of the track. Sean Stevens come up, the 77 come down. Contact was made. Yellow flags were thrown. 2nd caution on the night. Lights are off the pace truck. Floyd signifying for pit road. As they make their way around 1 and 2 one more time and down the backstretch, Floyd will head on in. And we will be green flag ripping. 25 laps left here remains for the Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown, round number 6 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Nose to tail, we got Brett Hobbs, Paul Bryan. As they start 1 and 2, waiting on Floyd to head down pit road. As Floyd does, he ignites the jet fuel and the green flag drops. The 42 machine, you look to that outside line. We're going to ride right on board here on the nose. We're going to go back behind him here to Brett Hobbs on the nose. As Hobbs is all over that high line trying to gain some momentum to the backside of that 42. Braden Miller in the 2 machine trying to hang on from Clayton Davies and Sean Stevens in the 26 and 50. The 50 going to go down low, going to throw the block on the 26 machine. Sean Stevens tries to hang on that tail side there with Davies. Almost 3 wide with the number 2 machine as Braden Miller hangs onto that outside. Davies going to go down low with Sean Stevens going to follow with suit, but come up just a smidge more. See Sean Stevens all over the tail side there of Clayton Davies. We ride on board looking back at the drivers doing their best, wheeling their things around this thing here that they call this thing of the thing. Nonetheless, Clayton Davies, we ride on board here. Sean Stevens throws the slider. Davies gives him the tap as we saw the contact riding on board there with Clayton Davies. Braden Miller going to try to hold off the 26 machine, but Sean Stevens going to look to the low side here and trying to gain some more momentum. The 20 laps left remaining here for Bristol. Who's going to take this one home? Paul O'Brien running away from Brett Hobbs and Braden Miller, your top 3. Back towards the backside of the pack, we see Alex Hanna gaining 4 spots on the night as he come up from the 11th position to 7th. Battling with Lockie Phillips as Lockie goes to the inside. The 88 stays to the outside trying to get that momentum as we ride right on board here on the high side with the 88. Alex Hanna. Hanna sitting in the 7th spot trying to gain some momentum to get away, but Brad O'Brien looking to put it down here in the 77. Oh, we got contact with the wall and the backside of the 77 with the 17 of Lockie Phillips. 15 laps left remaining here as we ride right on board from the blimp here. Brad O'Brien trying to work that white machine to the backside of the blue and purple. Alex Hanna. Clayton Davies in the 50 machine. Oh, looks like he may have gone sideways. It looks like Anthony might have been involved in that. Not sure what happened. Yellow flag's gonna fly. So we see here the 239 trying to hang to the inside of the 17 there. That's Anthony Crown. Davies disappeared a little bit as he went sideways. The 239 not having anywhere to go, messing that front wing right on up. And that's going to bring the yellow flag out. 3rd time here tonight. 14 laps left remaining in the TRL Super League, ready to rip down Bristol Motor Speedway here as we get them relined up and back into their spots. Floyd signifying for pit road, Paul Bryan. leading these guys off here. Sean Stevens going to hold on to fourth back behind Braden Miller in the 2 machine as the 2 goes to the inside of the 64 early, trying to make some moves. Don Brandt, 13 laps left remaining here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Looks like there's mud all over the windshield of that number 2 machine with Braden Miller as we ride on board there with him. We're going to come back off with the 2 machine and come to the TV2. The 64 machine has the 2 machine all over the tail side. Sean Stevens, though. Daniel Boyd going to make a move with a slider there in the 79. Able to take over that spot, putting Sean Stevens back into the top 5. We got 10 laps left remaining. Sean Stevens going to try to hang on to that inside line to the 79 here as well. Battle down the backstretch. Riding right on board here with Daniel Boyd. Right on the nose with that thing here. Sean Stevens back behind him. Braden Miller going to be in front. Holding on to the 3rd spot here as we got double file action for 2nd with the 64 machine. And Brent Hobbs trying to hang on to that mid to low line. Hobbs to the outside. Going to lead these guys off. From the 2nd spot, here's Daniel Boyd going to try to put a move down there as he goes to the inside around 1 and 2. Down the back stretch to 79, trying to gain some momentum on Brant Hobbs here at the 64. Braden Miller in the 2 machine, white and blue all over the tail side of that black and yellow. Oh, we got contact there with the 79 off the corner of the 2. Catches the rear with the 79, able to keep her going there as we ride on board and jump off board. 2 machine trying to go around the outside there. The 64 gets a little contact. 3 wide down into 3 and 4. The 79 to the outside. Sean Stevens to the middle. And the 64, Brant Hobbs to the inside. Battle to the line as they go to double file back around 1 and 2. 4 laps left remaining. Braden Miller hanging on to the 2nd spot here now as they are battling back behind him. Daniel Boyd leading off Sean Stevens and Brett Hobbs for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Oh, it looks like yellow flag's gonna fly. Yellow flag is gonna fly. This one gonna be on Thomas Mitchell. We'll see what happened there to the 02 machine. The 02's to the inside of Lockie Phillips there. Goes to the outside, the 77-17 made contact. It looked like Thomas Mitchell not having anywhere to go. We're going to ride right on board here with Mitchell. Trying to avoid it, going to that outside line, not able to do so. Thomas Mitchell being involved with that one there. The yellow flag strikes. This is going to be a 3-lap shootout here to the end. Paul R. Bryan going to try to hold off Braden Miller and Daniel Boyd here for 3 more laps. Pace truck driver Floyd heading down pit road as Paul R. Bryan leads these guys off. Green flag is out for 3 more laps. It's a 3-lap shootout for the TRL Super League. Number 2 machine, Braden Miller, trying to get a run around that outside line there in the second spot. But Paul O'Brien going to hold off for one more lap as we got one lap left remaining here at Bristol. Heading down around 3 and 4 for the checker flag. Braden Miller trying to use the outside, not able to do so. Daniel Boyd going to pull up that third spot. Oh, what a race. Paul O'Brien, though. The 42 dominating here on the night. I believe led every single lap. But nonetheless, awesome racing out of all these 410 sprint car drivers. Don't go anywhere. We're going to pull these guys up for a quick little interview and have a word with these drivers. Third, second, and first.
It's me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, pulling up the third spot here on the night. Daniel Boyd going to hold on to third. Braden Miller going to pull up the second spot. And Paul O'Brien going to lead this one off. But first, we're going to pull up the third position here. Daniel Boyd, as he is ready to rip, rock, and roll on the Discord. Man, Daniel Boyd up in the booth, brother. You got a copy. All right, one more time, man. Can you give me a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, mate.
All right, they got you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, pulling up the third spot here up on the podium tonight. Daniel Boyd, go ahead and give us the rundown, what it was like for you in that 79 machine here tonight at Bristol, brother.
Man, that was pretty fun. I don't know how there wasn't wreck. It's cool to race with guys that like Miller and Stevens and Hobbsy and that. It was awesome to run with them. It was really hectic there with about 10 laps to go. It's such a fun track, and it's such a fast track, and it can really come undone really quickly. And yeah, there was some close racing. It was a lot of fun. I'm surprised that I was on the podium, but I'll take it.
Yep, and tonight I believe you and Alex Hanna are going to tie on hard chargers. Both of you came up 5 spots on the night. I saw you working that inside line trying to get around these guys. You worked your way up to the third spot up here on the podium, man. Congratulations. Is there anybody we want to thank for being able to help you on out and get you on up here?
Yeah, thanks to the guys at Vortex Sim Sport. Good group we've got here going. We've got some good sponsors. We've got Speed Shop 51, LCJ Carpentry, Pace Graphics, and Style Photography. So thanks to all those guys, and thanks for you for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to TRL for putting on an awesome league every week.
Awesome, brother. Congratulations here, pulling up the third spot up on the podium here tonight. Daniel Boyd.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, mate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, pulling up the second spot here tonight. We got Braden Miller here in the number 2 machine. Braden, man, up in the booth. You got a copy, brother? What a run it was, that number 2 machine, all over the 42 when them yellow flags come on out, but he just had a little too much for you. Go ahead and give us the rundown of what it was like for you here at Bristol for the TRL Super League's round number 6.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bristol's pretty qualifying dominant. Hobbsy did a really good job to put it on pole, won his heat. Yeah, did everything he needed to do, but I need to apologise for him because obviously I got in the back of him there midway through the race. But yeah, no, like, I don't know, I kind of felt like the top was going to come in, and it really came in a bit later than I thought. I really wish we had another, I don't know, 5 laps or so. Like, if we started on a track that was a bit more worn out, it'd probably be a bit more fun. But it looked like, you know, we had a pretty big battle there between myself, Daniel, Sean, and Hobbsy there. I don't know what lap it was, but yeah, no, the track eventually put on some pretty good racing, and I'm happy to come away with second.
Yeah, it was, man. It was awesome racing, watching you guys battle it out as Sean Stevens had to work his way back up to you a couple times, able to battle it out with all you guys. But Brent Hobbs, yeah, worked his way up, held on to that second spot tonight for a good majority of it, but you were able to hang with him on the tail side. But congratulations, brother, as you held on to the second spot. You brought it on home. Who do you want to thank for being able to get yourself on up here to the podium?
Well, I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast. I'd like to get on a bit more often instead of crashing out every week. But yeah, yourself, Hobbs, Trenchant and Boring, Blaine at 27 Design, CD Simtography, and ABR Setup Shop, and all the guys in the Discord.
Awesome, brother. Congratulations pulling up the third spot here tonight. Braden Miller pulls up second.
Thanks, mate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, taking on the win for tonight, the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Bryan in the 42. Paul, man, up in the booth, you got a copy, brother? Hey, man, what a run that was here in this 42 machine. You led, I believe, every single lap here on the night. Go ahead and give us a rundown of what it was like for you here, taking on round number 6 for the TRL Super League's Hodge, Trenchant, and Boren Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown, round number 6.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was pretty confident coming into this round. I've had a pretty good run at Bristol since it was added to the iRacing service. So, yeah, I was quietly confident coming in, and everything just went to plan, mate. It was a good night of racing for myself.
That it was, man. You were able to lead off, like I said, I believe every single lap, man. Congratulations, though. You held on to the victory, holding them guys off. Braden Miller, Brett Hobbs, Sean Stevens, all them guys that were battling to your tail side. Who do you want to thank for being able to bring home on the victory here with that 42 machine?
I had all the guys at Man Up Sim Racing as usual. Matty Gowans for spotting for me in the TRL League. The TRL League for putting it on, mate. Yourself for broadcasting it, and yeah, the other competitors for the good racing.
Awesome, brother. Well, congratulations. You brought home the victory. Paul Bryan leading this one off for the round number 6 here.
Cheers, mate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude it for the night here with the TRL Super League's 410 Sprint Car Series. I am your host, Jacob Keith, ripping down the house here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The Hobbs, Trenchant, and Boren Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown, round number 6, Bristol Motor Speedway in the books as we rip it up here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I just got to tell you all, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, and don't do anything I wouldn't do unless you name that for me. So until next time, woof woof, much hound love.